Our next film, set in Victorian England, has the provocative title Angels and Insects, and it suggests similarities between the ruthlessness of the insect world and the human world, as a young naturalist is invited to the home of a wealthy collector and asked to catalog his treasures. But he's drawn to more than just the rare butterflies in this magnificent home. He's also attracted to a beautiful daughter, played by Patsy Kensit. She stuns him by almost immediately agreeing to his marriage proposal.
I cannot believe my own happiness.
Well, you will catch cold if you cannot believe it enough to come in.
The poor young scientist is nicely played by Mark Rylance, and his intellectual attraction to a poor relation of this wealthy family is returned with more than just a little passion.
Filled me with a desire to see those paradisal places, and I shall not rest until I've seen the great river and felt the air of the tropics.
You cannot do that. Think of the fever. Think of the terrible biting creatures. Think of the monotonous, insufficient food, of the rough men out there, the drunkenness.
Yet you will get that.
That's Kristin Scott Thomas, who we also saw earlier in the show in Richard III. One special note about Angels and Insects, it has some of the best costume design I've seen in years.
I don't like you dance. Please, go away.
I think the former Kapush was chosen today for their annual nuptial dance.
Angels and Insects is a very odd little film, and that's why I like it. Even though the big revelation in this film, I think, is the least interesting thing about it. That's just a drama gimmick. I like the three principal characters very much, particularly the scientist. His apparent weakness masks a remarkable strength, and I wish the movie was as much about him as Patsy Kensit's fierce family. Maybe it is. Another mixed review, but thumbs up from me nonetheless.
Oh, I liked it too, and I agree with you about the costumes, and in particular the way they present first the mother of the family, and then later when she gets pregnant, Patsy Kensit, as if they're queen bees or the queens of an anthill. In fact, there's an ant farm in the movie, and they're gathered, all the workers gather around them and feed them, and they just kind of sprawl in the sun, eating and then bearing children, and so that the family is seen like insects.
We know that people can be as obsessive in their behavior as the insect population with its even more limited brains. People get into the same rut too, and that's what we see, and that's what's so fascinating. I mean, from the collector to the scientist to the daughters and other things that are going on in the film.
Yeah, the movie is based on a story by A.S. Byatt, who also had a big bestseller a couple of years ago called Possession. And she loves to have intellectual people who somehow get their intellectual pursuits confused with their emotional life, and that happens here.
It's a lot of confusion in this film.